Happy summer, everyone! On today's episode of Notable New England, I'm going to be sharing some great summer walks around New England you can take where you'll see beautiful sights and get to enjoy the beauty of summertime. Put on your walking shoes and get some ideas on where you can get some steps this summer. Hello, lovely listeners, and thank you for tuning in to Notable New England. If you're new here, my name is Gretchen B., and I am a lifelong and proud New Englander. My hope with this podcast is to share the people, places, and things that make New England so noteworthy and encourage you to get out into your New England community and explore all of the wonderful things our region has to offer. I have to say it was really fun having the Tartan Army from Scotland in Boston and surrounding areas for the World Cup these past 2 weeks. They are such a festive bunch and they really brightened up the city with their stay. If you haven't seen the photos while on social media, look some of them up. They are really great and hilarious. They're a great bunch of folks all about having fun and connecting with everyone. And I have to say, the World Cup happening in our area is really bringing out a lot of community love and spirit. And it's great to see neighbors and visitors from all different countries mingling and bonding and taking part in celebrations together. That's what it's all about. We need more of that in today's world, and it's really great to see the joy and celebration happening. I'm absolutely loving it. As I release this episode, it's the first day of summer and it's also Father's Day. So happy summer solstice and also happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, including my dad. My dad also had his birthday last week, so I got to see him and we did a combo birthday, Father's Day, father and daughter celebration. So that was really great. On today's episode, I thought I would share some interesting and cool walks around New England that you can take this summer that will get you out to enjoy the weather, see some beautiful sights, and get some exercise. I've been doing some long evening walks lately, and I'm lucky to live in an area where there are so many places to walk that are just gorgeous. And it got me thinking about other beautiful walks in New England that are a lot of fun to do in the summertime. So I'll share those with you and hope it inspires you to get out and moving and exploring our region on foot. Before we get to that, let's start off with some Wicked Light Bites, which are community-oriented stories and happenings from each New England state. The Harvard Bookstore in Harvard Square, Cambridge, Massachusetts will be opening a second location in Boston this fall. The Boston location is going to be at 33 Union Street near Haymarket and Faneuil Hall in the old Yankee Publishing Building, which is on Boston's oldest commercial district, Blackstone Block. The bookstore will also include a cafe run by Lacan Paris Patisserie, and they'll be offering wine as well. A few years ago, the Harvard Bookstore received a lot of help from John and Linda Henry, who are now principal owners of the bookstore, along with being owners of Boston Globe Media and Fenway Sports Group, which includes the Boston Red Sox. Co-owner John Mayerson says that the new location will likely be more catered toward general use books versus academic, for which the Cambridge location is especially known for. The Cambridge location will continue to be the flagship location where the store's central offices are. When asked about the Harvard Bookstore wanting to open up a second location, Mayerson said, quote, "The free exchange of ideas is important and bookstores represent that. Bookstores also welcome in-person community experience for people feeling isolated in this digital age." end quote. The store's events program has expanded and will continue to do so with the Boston store. Currently, they host 400 author talks annually. Also, during the last fiscal year, the Harvard Bookstore reported its highest revenue in its near-century-old history. Information for this item comes from Ruth Tam at Cambridge Day. The Cobley Public Library in Lyndonville, Vermont has debuted Vermont's first fully electric bookmobile. The bookmobile travels to schools, daycares, and retirement communities in the area. Its route ranges from a 10 to 20 mile stretch throughout Caledonia County. It cost Cobley Public Library approximately $300 a month in gas before switching to an electric vehicle. Bookmobile driver Colleen Lariver says she is excited she no longer has to pump gas for the bookmobile since it's all electric now. The library was able to purchase the electric vehicle after receiving a $72,000 grant from a New England-based nonprofit. Information for this item comes from Lizzie Jensen at WCAX3. Dover, New Hampshire chef Evan Hennessy won a James Beard Award for Best Chef Northeast, which covers the New England states. Evan Hennessy is the owner and chef of Stages in Dover, as well as Topolino, which is a Mediterranean restaurant that recently opened in Dover. When accepting his award, Hennessy said, quote, "Huge shout out to the entire community of Dover, New Hampshire. I hope you are watching right now. We may be 34,000 people, but damn, we are big." End quote. He also thanked his family and his restaurant team in his acceptance speech. Hennessy has been nominated for James Beard Award recognition previously, and he's appeared on the Food Network's show Chopped, and he won 3 times while on that show. Information for this item comes from Dan Tuohy of New Hampshire Public Radio. Some people in Portland, Maine got quite a shock when they witnessed a young black bear roaming around the Old Port last week. The bear made its way to a basement-level parking garage below the Portland Harbor Hotel. Police and game wardens were able to secure the bear in the parking garage and then tranquilize it and return it to its natural and more suitable habitat. A press release for the Portland Police said, quote, "We appreciate the cooperation of residents, visitors, and local businesses as wildlife officials work to ensure the safety of both the public and the animal," end quote. Information for this item comes from the staff of News Center, Maine. A few months ago, you might recall a Wicked Light Bites item that I had mentioned about a mysterious, persistent hum that many residents of West Haven, Connecticut neighborhoods had been hearing for a few years, and many were absolutely fed up with. Well, it appears the mystery has been solved. Apparently, the hum was coming from the Glanbia facility on Heffernan Drive. Glanbia is a health and nutrition manufacturer in the area. Glanbia has been working with the city and did its own sound analysis. According to the West Haven Mayor's office, they found that the company's existing roof-mounted silencers were insufficient for the particular tone generated by its equipment. They've begun to replace the silencers and hope to be finished by September. West Haven's mayor said that the company has installed temporary muffler blankets to help diminish the sound, and in a 2-week testing period, the noise levels have remained in the allowable range. Information for this item comes from Bob Connors at NBC Connecticut. The oldest home in Newport, Rhode Island will now be educating people about Black history. The Edward W. Kane and Martha J. Wallace Center for Black History was unveiled on Juneteenth. Senator Jack Reed helped secure $300,000 in federal funds to help restore the Wanton Lyman Hazard House, where the center is located. Reed stated, quote, "It's been a home to two Rhode Island governors during colonial times. It's been a home of a loyalist to the crown, an officer in George Washington's army, and a speaker of the Rhode Island House. But importantly, it was also home to enslaved Africans, including Cardardo Wanton, who was freed to serve in the Continental Army," end quote. Representative Gabe Amo, the first Black person to represent Rhode Island in Congress, said, quote, "Making Black history accessible to everyone and preserving it for future generations compels us to action. This is not merely remembrance. This is about motivation. Black history is American history. There is no version of the story of America without it," end quote. In addition to Cardardo Wanton, a number of other enslaved Africans lived in the home's attic, and in 2005, historians found a Nikisi bundle beneath the floorboards of the attic that they believed belonged to Cardardo. Nikisi bundle is typically made of nails, buttons, cowrie shells, and other everyday items, and were used by people of African descent, including those who were enslaved, as a way to connect with and honor their ancestors. You can see a photo of it thanks to an article in Rhode Island Monthly by Lauren Clem, which I've linked in the show notes. Cardardo Wanton's bundle contained a cowrie shell that appears to have been brought from Africa to Newport. The Newport Historical Society conducted a full archaeological survey of the attic space in 2024 and discovered another cowrie shell as well. Dr. Akia de Barros Gomes, who discovered the cowrie shell in 2024, will be the center's first director. And she says, quote, "I grew up here between Newport and Middletown and didn't know there was a Black history at all. There's nothing on the landscape that tells our story," end quote. Now, the center will be sharing those stories to visitors. Tickets to the center cost $14 for adults and $6 for children between the ages of 6 and 17. I will provide a link to buy tickets in the show notes. Information for this item comes from Leah Crowley at WPRI 12. Up after the break, I'm going to tell you about some great summer walks around New England that you'll be excited to lace up your shoes for and explore the beauty of our region. Stay tuned. You're listening to Notable New England. If Notable New England has been part of your commute, your walks, your before bed listening, or other daily activity, I'd love your help in getting the word out. Tell a friend about the podcast. Post about the podcast or a favorite episode of yours on your social media, or leave a rating or review on your favorite podcast app. Those small actions make a big difference in helping the show grow and reach more people who care about New England stories. Thank you for being a part of this little community. Notable New England is truly a one-person labor of love, and like most creative work, there are real costs behind the scenes. If you'd like to support the show financially, Patreon offers monthly giving starting at just $2 a month, with early ad-free listening, and depending on which tier you choose, other thoughtful perks like Notable New England merch and New England goodies. You can visit patreon.com/Notable New England to see which tier is the best fit. That's patreon.com/Notable New England. Or you can head to buymeacoffee.com/notable New England for a one-time donation. Think of it as a virtual tip jar, and I'll give you a shout out on the podcast as a thank you. That's buymeacoffee.com/notable New England for a one-time donation. Your support helps keep these stories going, and I'm so grateful. Thank you. Summertime is the perfect time for long walks outdoors, and New England has no shortage of absolutely beautiful places to walk and explore the wonders of nature. I thought I'd share with you a short list of some of the best walking spots to check out and enjoy all our region has to offer. Perhaps it'll inspire you to lace up those walking shoes and get outdoors while the days are longer and the weather is nice. One of my absolute favorite walks that I do quite a lot is the Charles River Esplanade in Boston. If you're not familiar, it's a 3-mile stretch along the Charles River between the Museum of Science and the Boston University Bridge. It was born in 1910 after the Charles River was dammed, and today it's landscaped and shaped into a place for recreation, gathering, and community. In the mid-1930s, landscape architect Arthur Shercliffe nearly doubled the parkland. Trees were planted, the water's edge was redesigned, canoeways were added, and docks, pathways, and monuments and venues were built, including the Hatch Shell. Construction of Storrow Drive through the early 1950s brought further changes and the creation of additional features, including the islands and lagoons, to make up for parkland lost during the construction of Storrow Drive. Along the Esplanade, you'll find people riding bikes, walking, rollerblading, or sitting and enjoying the sights. You'll experience wonderful river views. You can watch the sailboats sailing along the river and incredible views of the Boston skyline. There are exercise areas if you want to get in a workout and playgrounds for kids. There's a beer garden in the summertime and lots of activities at the Hatch Shell to enjoy. It's a nice walk to take along the river, and you'll see many Bostonians doing just that, especially on a beautiful summer evening. It's a must visit if you're in Boston and a great place for a leisurely stroll. The Wellfleet Bay Wildlife Sanctuary in Wellfleet, Massachusetts is run by Mass Audubon. The trails line the shorelines and hillsides overlooking Wellfleet Harbor. You can stop for panoramic views at a salt marsh, a sandy barrier beach, pine woodlands, and freshwater ponds. There are 5 miles of trails, and there's even a fully accessible self-guided trail for people of all abilities. If you love looking for shorebirds, wading birds, fiddler crabs, and other wildlife, you will love walking the trails of the Wellfleet Bay Wildlife Sanctuary. The views are simply beautiful. The trails are open daily from dawn to dusk. The Nature Center is open 9 to 5 p.m. daily. Admission is $8 for adults, $5 for seniors ages 65 plus, and $3 for children ages 3 to 12. If you're a Mass Audubon member, you get in for free. The Wellfleet Bay Wildlife Sanctuary is located at 291 State Highway, Route 6 in South Wellfleet, Massachusetts. The Breakwater in Rockland, Maine is a granite block walkway right on the ocean, about a mile in length, that will take you to the Breakwater Lighthouse. The Breakwater took 18 years to build and was completed in 1900. Nearly 700,000 tons of granite was used, much of it quarried in Vinyl Haven. It's shaped like a trapezoid, 45 feet wide at the top and 175 feet at the base, built in 9 sections. It extends from Jameson Point to Rockland Harbor. Be warned, there are significant gaps between the granite blocks, so this would be a walk for those who are okay with unsteady and potentially slippery walking, but it is worth it if you are able to do it for the beautiful ocean views and to see the Breakwater Lighthouse. Wear comfortable shoes and dress warmly because the air can get pretty cool due to the ocean breeze. Again, you'll be almost a mile out to sea. To get there, you go to Samoset Road in Rockland, and there's a parking lot there that you can park in. Afterwards, you can go get a nice lobster roll to enjoy as a reward for braving the breakwater. The Parsons Way Shore Walk in Kennebunkport, Maine offers beautiful ocean views along the Maine coastline. It winds along Cape Arundel, and you'll see some amazing rock formations, cliffs, and beautiful summer cottages. Some of the highlights along the way include Sprouting Rock and Blowing Cave, St. Anne's Episcopal Church, which is an open-air seaside stone chapel, and you can pop in for a visit. And you will go by Walker's Point, which was the summer home of former President George H.W. Bush. There are many lookout points along the way and plenty of benches to stop and relax. The sunset views along the Parsons Way Shore Walk are stunning and not to be missed. It's an easy walk along a paved path. It's about 2 miles in length, and you can start the walk on Ocean Avenue in Kennebunkport. If you park near the Colony Hotel or St. Anne's Episcopal Church, you'll be good to go. The Stowe Recreational Path in Stowe, Vermont is about 5.3 miles long and offers beautiful views of the Green Mountains. It extends from Stowe Village to Top Notch Resort on the mountain road. The best part is there are plenty of places to stop along the way. There are picnic spots, restaurants and shops, and a river for wading and swimming. The path is flat, paved, and free of motor vehicles. It's great for families and individuals to enjoy. It is a multi-use path, so you can ride your bike, jog, or rollerblade if you wish. To get there, you want to go to 67 Main Street in Stowe, Vermont. The Robert Frost Interpretive Trail in Ripton, Vermont is an easy 1.2-mile, well-marked loop trail that crosses Beaver Pond and the south branch of the Middlebury River. It features several interpretive panels celebrating Robert Frost's poems. Frost visited the area for over 40 years and taught at the Middlebury College Breadloaf campus in Ripton. The first 0.3 miles of the trail are on a boardwalk to a beaver pond, and it is wheelchair accessible. You'll experience beautiful vistas. Blueberries and huckleberries grow in an old field at the far end of the trail. It's best to meander and stop along the way to reflect on Robert Frost's poetry as you walk and see the various panels of his poetry. The trailhead is located along Route 125 in Ripton, Vermont. Prescott Park in Portsmouth, New Hampshire is a wonderful place to wander, especially through the beautiful gardens that adorn the 10-acre park. Prescott Park was made after the death of Josie Prescott, a lifelong resident of Portsmouth who had it in her will that she wanted a public park, free and accessible to all, to be established along the Portsmouth waterfront. The gardens at Prescott Park were created in the 1930s by the Prescott sisters, who had purchased the waterfront acreage, and in 1954 it was willed to the city of Portsmouth for the public to enjoy. In 1975, the trustees of the park invited UNH's All-American Selections program trial gardens there and created 40 formal garden beds on the south lawn of Prescott Park. These gardens were designed to be a living catalog of flowers to study which varieties of ornamental plants performed best in the seacoast environment. When that program ended, the city took on designing the gardens, selecting plants, and planting and maintaining the gardens. You'll be able to take some really beautiful photos of the gardens as you meander. And if you want a guided walk, they do those on Fridays at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Prescott Park always has wonderful events taking place too, from arts festivals to movie nights, music, and more. Prescott Park is located at 105 Marcy Street in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Odioran State Park in Rye, New Hampshire offers sweeping views of the ocean and rocky shore and boasts an extensive network of trails. Some of the breathtaking sights to be seen are the Gulf of Maine, including 4 lighthouses, the Isles of Shoals, and the mouth of the Piscataqua River, as well as the southern coast of Maine. There are 7 different natural habitats, including woodlands, uplands, a salt marsh, freshwater and salt ponds, a sandy beach, and the rocky shore. The property was also home of Fort Dearborn, built to protect Portsmouth Harbor during World War II, and you'll see remnants from that area, including old stone walls and cellar holes. Many of the trails are handicap accessible too. You can bring a picnic, as there are picnic areas where you can enjoy beautiful views. Odioran State Park is located at 570 Ocean Boulevard in Rye, New Hampshire. Hubbard Park in Meriden, Connecticut offers lovely hiking trails on its 1,800 acres, and one place to stop is at Castle Craig. It's a stone observation tower that overlooks the park, and on a clear day, you'll be able to see the Sleeping Giant mountain range to the south, New Haven, Long Island Sound, and Long Island. To the north, you'll see the foothills of the Berkshires. The park itself also hosts various festivals and concerts and has a band shell, beautiful gardens, and areas to picnic. There is a lake as well as tennis courts and a playground for the kids. Hubbard Park is located at 999 West Main Street in Meriden, Connecticut. Bluff Point State Park in Groton, Connecticut is a wonderful place for a stroll or a hike along the Connecticut coastline. The 800-acre peninsula offers 5 miles of scenic trails that include coastal woodlands, beach and dune grasslands, coastal plain ponds, coastal bluff, tidal wetlands, intertidal mud flats, and offshore eelgrass beds. Some highlights include Bluff Point, Sunset Rock, and the John Winthrop House Foundation. The park has an easy 1.3-mile trail that leads you to the beach, where you can see amazing views of the Poconoke River along the way. The trail is well marked, so it is easy to navigate. If you like to mountain bike, there are trails for that, and if you're a boater or you like to fish, you can do that there too. Bluff Point State Park is located on Depot Road in Groton, Connecticut. The Cliff Walk in Newport, Rhode Island is a must visit to experience spectacular views along the eastern shore of Newport, Rhode Island. It's a 3.5-mile walk where you'll experience panoramic ocean views, the stunning Gilded Age mansions, and flowers, birds, and rock formations. The walk starts at the western end of First Beach at Memorial Boulevard and runs south, ending at Bellevue Ave at the east end of Bailey's Beach, which the locals call Rejects Beach. In 1975, the Cliff Walk was designated as a National Recreation Trail, the 65th in the nation and the first in New England. There are 16 QR code trail markers along the way that provide information about the Gilded Age, the mansions, and the history of the area. The entrance location is located at 119 Memorial Boulevard in Newport, Rhode Island. If you want to experience a flat, easy walk with incredible sights, try Sachuset Point National Wildlife Refuge in Middletown, Rhode Island. It sits on 242 acres and is on the coast overlooking the ocean. There are over 2.5 miles of trails that include coastal grasslands, dense shrubland, and rocky shorelines. Viewing platforms can be found along the trails, so you have ample opportunity to observe wildlife. There is also a visitors center where you can learn about the ecosystems of the bay and where you can ask the staff about the best places for viewing and taking photos along your walk. Sachuset Point National Wildlife Refuge is located at 769 Sachuset Point Road in Middletown, Rhode Island. I hope this episode has given you some inspiration for places to take some nice summer walks here in New England. Perhaps it'll serve as a jumping off point to find other places for walks in our region to enjoy this season. We certainly have an abundance of beautiful places to walk, and summertime is a great time to get out there and enjoy these spectacular places. I'll be back on July 5th with a brand new episode of Notable New England, and I hope that you'll tune in. Until next time, be well, everyone.